Well, speaking of spirits and ghosts, we got this one little cool item that I found
what the heck
I thought
is
was
this?
cool. This is what they call a ghost box recorder. Now, apparently, you can use these to talk to ghosts.
All right.
So let's look at the directions and contents.
No, if only we had one.
So maybe next Halloween.
Ghoststop.com
Ghoststop.com is where we're at. Let's look at the directions and contents of this.
Okay.
Goose. So it includes a ghost box, a USB charger, white, a USB data cable, black, wrist strap and stand, printed manual, directions. Number 1. Okay, so there's like a little graph here that shows it looks like almost like a radio shaped thing.
Volume, SD, display, flashlight, headphone, USB charging, speaker, scanner. It's like a radio.
Yeah.
Loop, scan, delete, scan forward, record modes, and flashlight again. It's got 18 and 6 are both flashlight.
Let's skip the quick start.
2 flashlights.
Oh my god. It's double flashlights.
Skip the quick start.
So let's go to, press scan to start and stop the sweep. To change sweep direction while the scan is stopped, hold reverse for 2 seconds to sweep in reverse direction, or hold forward to sweep forward. If a sweep is already active, you must press scan again to stop.
EVP, you know.
Yeah. That's the
it's an EVP.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah, it's
everybody knows what that is.
Electro vacuum penguin.
That's right. To record or see EVP audio, must first insert a microSD card into the port at the bottom of the device. Make sure you face it in the proper direction to insert properly. It will click into place. So what this is it's basically a thing that you use to talk to ghosts.
Yes. Or they talk to you.
Yeah. So it scans the waves or the EVP, and then you can kind of hear things. And I thought that was cool until I did a little bit more research on it. And basically what it is it's like a broken radio that they basically make to use to scan just different radio channels, but it scans them at the wrong frequency, so it sounds like people are talking.
Huh.
And it scans it does multiple ones. So you'll be like, oh man, it's like, and then you use your imagination, be like, I think it said, hey, how's it going? You'll ask the ghost, be like, ghosts, what is the answer to life? And then you'll turn it on, and it'll be like, Bob, today we went down there to the field, and then the weather looks like it's going to be clear skies. Back to you there, Jim.
He's like, whoa. When am I going to die?
The ghosts are so crazy.
Oh, I think it said Saskatchewan. Oh.
Oh man. But apparently, there's some that's supposed to work and some that,
it makes sense.
I don't know.
Also, apparently EVP is employee value proposition. So
yeah, you have to put ghost EVP.
I think this is the correct answer. I don't think I have to search a different one.
Electronic voice phenomena, what it is.
Well, there you go.
All right. Speaking of phenomena, we got 5 famous ghost stories with totally logical explanations. And this is by Juliana LaBianca.
Yeah, on Reader's Digest.
Maybe French. Number 1.
The Amityville Horror House.
I've never heard of this.
Amityville Horror House. Although the cover of the Amityville Horror says it's based on a true story, most of this tale is anything but. The story starts with a very real and very grisly murder. On November 13th, 1974, Ronald Devereaux Jr. Ronald McDonald shot and killed his parents and 4 siblings while they slept. He shot 6 people, and not one of them woke up for the other 5 bullets.
He was using, a silencer. This is before Call of Duty was out. How is the media going to explain this?
Of course. While they slept. But after that, the truth gets murky. Of course it would. According to the Lutzes.
Maybe they all slept in a row.
He just lined up the shot.
Yeah, just lined it
One bullet. Wow. Maybe he didn't want to kill them. He just saw the perfect opportunity to get a 6
What if he was practicing shooting outside?
Shot through.
And then it was a ricochet thing.
And it hit them all as they were sleeping.
He hit
That's what he
was shooting at a pan, right? Then
at
he hung
nighttime,
up on a tree.
waking up his neighbors.
Yeah.
And then he missed, and then he got through his house, and he was like, dang it. And he goes inside, guys, I shot through the wall, and he sees they're all dead, oh.
And then they're like, how did you shoot? And then, like, he tried to show them how he shot, but then he accidentally shot him. He's like, no.
According to the Lutzes, the family that moved in after the murder,
The house was haunted. People and furniture levitated and shape-shifted. Gelatinous drops appeared out of nowhere, and Mrs. Lutz...
Oh, Lutzes, I see.
Yeah,
I feel like you can just not... It's Lutzes with a Z. I feel like you don't need the ES, right?
I mean, you could have just said the
Grammar,
Lutz family, yeah.
The Lutz family.
Yeah.
Mrs. Lutz began having nightmares
Oh, no.
of the murder. Unfortunately for those who love a good ghost story.
These claims are largely considered a hoax, and no family that's lived in the house since the Lutzes has reported any type of paranormal activity.
Oh, my God. Well, didn't they have an exorcist come in there?
Yeah,
so
maybe.
they did their job.
Honest, this says largely considered. Didn't they say with logical explanations? These claims are largely considered a hoax. I'm not gonna say why or how. They just are.
All right.
It's a hoax.
There you go.
There's your logical explanation.
Yep.
He was lying.
Yeah, I gotta have that clickbait, right?
Here's
All right,
your-
number 2, the Anson Light Highway Ghost. Dreaming up stories about haunted highways in America is as American as apple pie. But for the town of Anson near Alabama, Texas, the jig is up. As the story goes, if you drive up to the local cemetery and flash your lights at the end of the road, a ghost light will flicker in the distance. According to legend, it's a light from a lantern held by a grieving mother looking for a son. Apparently, they both perished in a Texas snowstorm. What?
No,
Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
A Texas snowstorm.
Abby.
Now, I've been to Texas before. I tell you.
Yeah.
In the wintertime, it's still like 80 degrees.
But have you been to Abilene?
Abilene. Was that like northern Texas? That's still
Let's
like
pretend that's true.
Still.
What if it's
okay, fine.
so southern that it's near the South Pole?
So like even if it was snowing, it was probably like less than a centimeter of snow on the ground.
It was just a minor chill, but they weren't wearing coats, so they just kind of
Right.
died.
Okay. So a professor at the nearby Alabama Christian University had a differently theory. Differently theory?
Had a differently theory.
Had a different theory and guessed that the light was actually coming from traffic on the nearby highway. He recently tested his theory with a group of students armed with GPS trackers and a pair of binoculars. Turns out it's case closed. The Anson light is nothing but headlights in the distance.
I mean, it's kind of obvious.
That makes sense. I mean, if there's like, trees there and the leaves are blowing around and then you might see like a light. Or it might be that since it's near the highway and you're flashing your beams and you're like blinding some guy on the highway, he's probably going to flash his back and be like, hey, ho, stop your flashing your lights.
At a glance, when they say you flicker your lights and lights flicker back, it's like, well, isn't that just like a sign reflecting your lights back at
Or
you?
couldn't it be like if somebody hung up like mirrors or something in the woods?
It's just a prank.
It would just reflect back.
It's just like a nice pair of wind chimes, a little mirror, a little decorative thing. It just flashes lights
Maybe it was
back
just
at
the
you.
people who own the graveyard was trying to sell merch. So they're like, let's come up with a ghost story.
Even if this ghost story is false, I still believe that this woman and her son perished in a Texas snowstorm. At some
Less
point.
than a centimeter of snow.
They just like...
Well, they were probably driving, and it's like, and then one snowflake hits the road. It's like, oh god! They drive off the road.
It's the equivalent of having a small puddle of water and sticking your face in it and drowning. They just like lay on the snow. It's like, it's so cold.
Even then, I don't think it would be cold enough. They'd have to be like out in the water, swimming.
The haunted H house. All right. This
All right,
ghost
all right,
story
all right.
almost turned deadly,
Oh my god!
but not for the reason you might expect. I'm trying my my TV announcer.
What am I expecting?
After moving into a new home in 1912, the H family almost immediately began experiencing depressions, poor sleep, apparitions, and phantom sound. Mrs. H wrote an account of the activity.
So is that like their last name? Is literally just the letter H?
Or it's for amenity.
I guess.
I'm just gonna call H. On one occasion, in the middle of the morning, as I passed from the drawing room to the dining room, I was surprised to see at the further end of the dining room coming towards a strange woman, dark hair and dressed in black. As I walked steadily on into the dining room to meet her, she disappeared. Why was she in my house? I wanted to say hi. And in her place, I saw a reflection of myself in the mirror. Oh, just up in a light silk waist. I mean, that's an older thing, I assume, because I don't know what a silk
You
waist
have
is.
no idea.
I guess it's like a type of dress. I don't know.
On the night of January 15th, we went to the opera. That night I had a vague and strange dream, which appeared to last for hours.
When the morning came, I felt too tired and ill to get up. G told me that in the middle of the night he woke up. G is my husband. I'm H and this is G. That's our real names. Feelings.
They later started the HG channel, the Home and Garden channel.
Very famous here. He woke up as if feeling someone had grabbed him by the throat and was trying to strangle him.
It was me.
It was me. It was just a hilarious prank.
Just a prank, bro.
I thought he would laugh.
It was
but
for
he
the
started
YouTubes.
choking me back, and then we had a good laugh in the morning. He sat up in bed and had a violent fit of coughing, which lasted about 5 minutes. I know that because I was asleep.
I was timing it.
I was timing him in my sleep.
And then I said, "You having a giggle there, mate?"
You having a giggle? Aye, mate. You what, mate? G had always slept heavily, never heard a sound and nothing disturbing him. Now he was constantly waking, answering the telephone and the doorbell, which had never rung, and looking for burglars who never materialised, as burglars often do.
Right?
Well,
Wait,
he just might have some kind of Alzheimer's.
So he was Wait, so like when they first moved into this place, they immediately started experiencing depression, poor sleep, apparitions, and phantom sounds. So maybe he was just sleepwalking.
Maybe he's hallucinating because of the poor sleep.
Yeah, could be.
Poor sleep because of depression, I guess. Probably because they're sleeping so poorly. In the end, they just had bad sleeping problems. Their bed was terrible. They had a
They were literally sleeping on a rock.
They had a 1912 bed, which isn't really even a bed.
Probably the best kind of mattress.
Yeah, filled with rats. The family had a right to be terrified, but upon further investigation, it was discovered that they were actually suffering from carbon monoxide poisoning. Yeah, that's about it, right? H's house's furnace was faulty and was slowly releasing the deadly gas into the home. The result was the family's hallucinations and unexplained sickness.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
That makes complete sense to me. Are they dead? No. Yes, the answer is yes. But did they die of age, or did they die of the poisoning?
No, I don't think they died.
Okay, probably left the house.
It said they almost died, I'm pretty sure.
Oh. They almost died until they actually died of old age.
Instead of calling an exorcist, you gotta call the gas man.
First you gotta call your doctor.
Yeah.
He says, yo, you got poisoned.
Photos of spirits. Grieving families seeking closure will sometimes go to far lengths to find it. And that's exactly how William Mumbling rose to fame as a spirit.
Is it Mulmer or is it Mumler?
Mumbler.
Looks like Mumler.
Rose to fame as a spirit photographer in 1861.
Wow, that's a long time ago.
Mumbler was working as an amateur photographer in Boston, Massachusetts, when he developed a self-portrait that appeared to have the image of a young girl in the background. Mumbler assumed the image was a mistake, that it was a trace of an earlier negative made on the same plate, but friends and relatives argued that the girl looked somewhat like his deceased cousin. When the spiritualist community got hold of the image, they declared it the first photo of a spirit. Mumbler went with it and became rich taking spirit photos for families who had lost relatives in the Civil War. Although critics often pointed out that the figures in his photos often resembled people who were still alive, and in many cases people who had recently sat for photos. Mumbler still landed a succession with Mary Todd Lincoln, Abraham Lincoln's widow. The photo includes a shadow image of Lincoln in the background. Unfortunately, the photos are totally altered.
Don't question it. It's true. They're totally altered. I mean,
None
anyone
of this can be true ever.
I like how he oh, it's a mistake. It's like, no, it's real. It's like, okay, if you say so. Just stop doing it.
Maybe it's just his camera. His camera's just like, because those are really old cameras. Probably just like every time it took a photo, it just kind of had like a shadow of that person.
I mean, we've done that in photography class when I was in school. We took a photo and then we'd like blur it onto another one to make it look like there was like a ghost.
Right.
It was cool. The Ghost of Coventry. The Ghost of Coventry. When the ghost terrorizes a group of scientists, that's Coventry, right? You go, it's like Coventry.
Yeah.
Terrorise a group of scientists, it's likely to face more skepticism than it would in an ordinary workplace. Mm-hmm. That's what happened at Coventry University in 1998. Workers at Vic Tandy's medical lab began calling the place haunted after experience. This is like the same voice, just a man instead of a woman. By the way, I'll just say that now.
Nobody would notice.
Nobody knows. Experiencing feelings of depression, cold shivers, and apparitions while in the lab. One night, Tandy himself...
gas leak.
It's another gas leak. The furnace was faulty again. Tandy himself, Tandy, not T, was working alone when he saw a dark figure creeping up behind him. When he turned around to face it, the creature had disappeared. After a bit of a problem solving,
the engineer discovered that it wasn't a ghost that was tormenting the lab, but a low-frequency standing wave in the center of the room. Obviously, it was just a low-standing frequency wave.
Why?
The origin of the wave? A fan in the corner. Turns out the 19 hertz frequency was able to trigger a madness of sorts in Tandy and his colleagues. When the fan was turned off, the hauntings ended.
That's what I've heard too before. Electrical current can actually play a part on your psyche.
That's awesome.
Like, there was one ghost thing. I remember, if I could remember the name of it. I think it was Ghost Hunters. They were in this theater. They kept getting witnesses to ghosts and apparitions. And they found that like there was like a few different like electrical transformers around. Electrical work in the place was like really old. So that combined with the electrical waves actually made it look like there was stuff happening there.
Wow.
Or it could have been ghosts.
It was probably just ghosts.
Yeah, it's probably ghosts. So, which of these stories do you think was the best?
Okay, well,
or the most believable?
Most believable? Most believable would probably be the haunted house. I think I'd fall for because that's just carbon monoxide poisoning.
Yeah. So, like the people were actually legit experiencing what they were experiencing. It's just it wasn't because of being haunted.
Because they're dying.
Because they were literally being poisoned.
I think my favorite might be the Ghost of Coventry.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, a fan making you hallucinate is pretty metal.
Yeah, pretty crazy.
Pretty hardcore.
I'd have to say mine is the Amityville Horror.
Yeah?
Just because of the pop culture, for one. There's the big, like, in the movie about it and all that.
Is it because... Was there a movie about it?
Yeah, there's, like, a series of movies.
Now, did he shoot and kill parents and 4 siblings all at the same time while they slept?
I don't remember. It's been, like, years since I've seen it.
A knife sounds more believable. I don't think he shot them.
But I think in the movie... if it's the same one I remember, they had a couple of different exorcists come in to get rid of the demon.
There you go.
And then they're like, hopefully it'll never come back. And looks like it didn't because of the other people who moved in. I think just because people who move in after, like, I didn't experience anything, it doesn't necessarily mean that nothing happened to the other person.
They say as they grab a teacup floating in midair and take a sip from it. I don't know what they're talking about.
You know what it is? It's just astronauts who, like, were so used to living in a space station and stuff floating around. And they're like, this is natural.
Something seems off today. Nah, it's probably just me.
Yeah, it's just like work. But yeah, I that's the one I'd have to say is mine.
All right.
What do you want to cover next time for Spooky Month there, Goose?
All right. What's something spooky? What's the spookiest thing you can imagine that isn't a skeleton?
Spooky, scary skeleton.
Shivers down your spine.
You know, I've always thought that vampires, like not the Twilight vampires, but the OG, like...
They're the spookiest, man.
Vlad the Impaler were always the spookiest.
Was Vlad a vampire?
No, but he was a very crazy ruler.
He would play with people.
I've
heard things about him.
I think he used to just not come out until like night, and then like people just started saying like because he was so ruthless, it was like, oh, it's evil. He drinks of the blood of his enemies.
He probably did.
And maybe he was a pretty crazy guy.
Yeah, just for fun though, not because he needed to.
Yeah, and that's. You know how history goes, like just like the telephone game. You tell a story enough times, eventually it'll manifest into some kind of fantasy. But so I guess we'll go over vampires the next time on the Folklore Scrolls.
All right.
See you guys next time. Holla at you later.